So is it your belief or understanding that we're all here, everybody's supposed to have continuous joy?
Yes.
What about the yin and yang of life?
Well, the contrast is what helps us to define from our personal perspective what it is we want to create. And once that explodes in us, if we would just turn our attention to that, we'd get that. Mm-hmm. But somehow, most of us, it's like getting back to money. We'll say, I don't have enough money. Well, every time we know that we don't have enough money, we ask for more. And when we ask, it is given. But we keep beating the drum of, I don't have enough money. And
yeah, I said this on a show, that what you see people saying all the time is, if I could only make it to the end of the month. I've heard people say that. If I could only just make it to the end of the month. And you do.
Yeah.
You make it to the end of the month, and you don't have more. So are you saying that the law of attraction says that whatever you give your attention to, that's what you attract?
Exactly. Knowing what we don't want helps us know what we do want.
Yeah.
But we keep talking about where we're at, so we don't let ourselves become a match to what life has caused us to ask for.
I got that. You say also in the law of attraction, page 25, once you understand that all people, circumstances, and events are invited into your experience by you through your thought, you will begin to live your life as you intended when you made the decision to come forth into this physical body. And so an understanding of the powerful law of attraction coupled with an intention to deliberately create your own life experience will ultimately lead you to the unparalleled freedom that can only come from a complete understanding and application of the art of allowing.
It's so much fun. See, law of attraction's working all the time, whether we know that it is or not. But when we deliberately set forth an intention and we deliberately try to hold our thoughts on that by paying attention to the way we feel and guiding our thoughts that way, then to watch things begin to unfold, that's when life's really fun.
I got that.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Esther Hicks here, who is, I'm saying today, the secret behind the secret, because she was a big part, she and her husband Jerry, of the creation of the DVD that Rhonda Burns did. Rhonda and her crews went to sit with Jerry and with Esther, and she was on the original tape. She's no longer on the tape, but she is here in our studio. And I'm going to ask you to channel Abraham. And let me just say before you do that, the reason why I wanted to do this on the radio is because I really do think that the television audience isn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So I just know. And so I know all the people listening, you're going to think it's a weird thing. And maybe it is a weird thing. I'm going to see for myself how weird it is.
Prepare yourself.
I'm preparing myself. That's why I thought I would do this I'd do my virgin run with Abraham on the radio in case some weird old thing happened. So what happens? What is the process? Can you tell our listeners what this means?
I just relax and quiet my mind. I usually focus on my breathing.
Are you going to look the same?
Yeah, nothing's going to change. It'll be all right.
Okay.
It'll be all right. My eyes dilate is about the only thing that's different. The pupils.
And does it happen every time? Can you do it? Does it happen? Do you just say, hey, Abraham, and it shows up?
The only time that I was not able to bring Abraham in was when the neighbor's dog got in our chicken yard years ago and mutilated some of our chickens. And I was so upset I couldn't relax enough to receive them. But
so once you channel Abraham here on XM 156, once you do that, then I'm talking to Abraham. Are you hearing what Abraham is?
I hear every word,
okay,
but what it is, I don't go away, but I become more is the best way to explain it.
Because tell me again what you said last week, that it's a vibrational field.
Yeah, I don't repeat words. They offer a vibration that because I've practiced for so many years, I tune to it easily. Mm-hmm. I think you do it too, Oprah. I think you are every bit as weird as me. You just don't use the label.
And how do you see that I'm weird, Esther? How so?
I don't see you as weird. I only say weird in the sense that I believe that you are weird in the way that I'm weird, in that you receive broader perspective, or you'll get an impulse that when you follow it just at the right time, it's exactly right.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I'm going to ask you to bring in Abraham.
All right. You'll like it.
I'll like it.
We are not really as strange as all of that. It is nice to have an opportunity to visit.
So, Abraham? Do I call you Abraham? Do I call you Esther? What's the protocol?
Mm-hmm. Most call us Abraham. Some call us Estherham.
Estherham.
Abraham is fine.
Mm-hmm. And so when this is so weird. So as I sit here on
it's not weird from your perspective, but as you try to define it through the eyes of others,
yes,
you see them as seeing it as weird, and so then it feels weird. But in reality, it is not weird. Yeah. Everyone is doing this to some degree.
To some degree, yes. Thank you for that clarification. So may I ask you some questions about some of the feelings that people have after hearing that they are attracting into their lives everything that is happening? So are you saying that everything happens in our life for a reason?
We are saying that, but differently than that, in this way. Everything happens for a reason sounds a little bit like it is an outside reason that has been assigned. We say everything is happening because of the vibration offering that you are setting forth. Everything that is coming to anyone is coming in response to what they've been thinking about. As you think a thought, it activates a vibration, and as you continue to think it, that vibration becomes stronger until eventually you call it a belief. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And once you have activated a vibration enough that it is dominant within your vibrational patterns, then law of attraction matches it up with things like it.
So that's why the law of attraction is that you bring into your life that which is unto itself.
That is it exactly.
Then why do such bad things happen to people who are not thinking about those bad things?
Well, the best way to describe that is by saying to you that the thoughts that they have been thinking have the same vibrational essence. In other words, someone might say, I did not think about that specific thing. But there is no question, if something happens, what you are living always matches what you've been offering vibrationally. There are no exceptions to that. So the confusion comes in where what it means is people are offering vibrations that they don't know they're offering because they've been thinking thoughts. The thoughts are normal. It's like even what's going on in your nation today. There are so many thoughts that are fear-based, and people accept them as normal, but they are not good for people to think those thoughts.
For instance?
For instance, as you are thinking about terrorism and worried about it coming to you, wanting to be aware of what color the terror alert is today, and things of that nature. As you hold your thoughts upon those things, in time they begin to feel normal.
But why shouldn't we feel a sense of terror? Because we've experienced terror in this country. That's what was the purpose of 9/11?
Things do not happen because something outside of you is assigning you a lesson. It is that as you are living life, your response to life causes you to offer vibrations that then law of attraction responds to. So it's a little tricky to say that 9/11 happened for a reason unless you understand that it was the culmination of a lot of people giving a lot of thought. In other words, it was sort of a trigger point, you might say, to people feeling powerless, large numbers of people feeling powerless over a long period of time.
I asked the question because the terror alerts resulted from 9/11.
Yes.
And that attack on our country, on our beings and our sense of security,
yes,
and our sense of feeling like we were safe. And so the terror alerts are there as a warning to people, supposedly, to say, you're not as safe as you think you are.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, there are all kinds of things that are happening. People have cancer and people get run over by trucks. We are certainly in agreement with you that there are things out there that are happening that if you give your attention to them, you would feel those emotions of terror or fear. But what we're suggesting is that if you are able to not just look around and take what's happening as it's given to you. So something bad happens, you have a fearful response. Something good happens, you have a joyful response. But instead, you decide how you want to tune your responses. So you become a more selective sifter. You don't just look and feel. Instead, you decide how you want to feel, and then you look. So now you have control of your vibrational offering, which means now you have control of your point of attraction.
Because we're all vibrational offerings.
We are all vibrational beings, everything is.
And you are attracting to yourself the vibrational frequency, the vibrational offering that you are putting out.
Every time, no exception.
Even if you're 4 years old.
Even if you are 1 year old, even if you are in your mother's womb. Vibration abounds, and you are you see what happens, you are so
this is where we get hung up here, because I don't understand, and I'm sure many people listening to us don't understand, how an innocent child attracts being raped. An innocent child attracts being abused. An innocent child attracts being kidnapped and butchered.
The first assumption that makes it hard for you to come round to understanding is the assumption that in order to create, you must have language, you must be speaking. And so if a child is not speaking, then they must not be attracting. Where what is happening is you